of living.
Yes.
And I want to give you 2 minutes to tell us, in your understanding, what is the driver of this rising cost of living? And if elected president, let's say in the first 100 days, what would be the Agano proposals to reduce the cost of living?
I agree to what you're saying, and I think the 100 days for us, we will repeat that our agenda is corruption. Cost of living has been affected by corruption widely. And if we deal with corruption, I think Kenyans will smile back at us. And the first 100 days, one that was implemented yesterday, na ninajua unga haijateremka, 2 weeks ago, on our manifesto, we launched that. We will introduce the subsidy of maize. It was introduced yesterday. Now, Kenya wameambiwa to wait for 2, 3 to 4 weeks for it to be felt. Jana nimepitia kwa supermarket, bado unga ni 230. So for us, we still have to bring the subsidy for Kenyans to be able to eat, because a hungry nation is an angry nation. For us, we're also planning to implement the pay cutoff of 50%. I know you'll want to ask where the deficit is going to come in. Our repayment period for the loan is 1.3 trillion. And the financial year, the last financial year, KRA reported that the payment that was done through the payee was 461 billion. So if we cut off the payee by 50%, that is 230 billion deficit. If we come and cap the repayment period, the repayment of the 1.3 trillion, kumbuka tutakuwa na ile extra 300, ile tutakuja kusongesha pale kwa payee, so that we are able to run our activities as usual and even have a small surplus of 7 billion to run with. That being amongst them.
Do you agree with her and the proposals to reduce the cost of living?
Okay, first, I can't agree with her, definitely, but cost of living is occasioned by inflation, number one. Too few goods, but there's too much money in circulation. Number two, taxes. When manufacturers have the tax burden, they push it to the consumer. And the consumer is not having any salary increase. So that is the reason we're having this. So let me say this. We are not going to do the 100 days, that's a lie. But you ask us after 1 year when you get into office. That one, we are going to widen the tax base. Why? I said marijuana is used in 9 sectors, across 9 sectors. Example, paper. We are going to give life to pan paper. Pan paper had been given life, but again, the logging law came in, so they don't have raw materials. We'll have marijuana that will be used for that. So our idea is to drive local economies whereby a Kenyan, instead of importing something from China, like the people of Nyamakema, their stuff was burnt for lack of quality, let them organize themselves, have local industries, if it's textile, plastic, paper, printing paper by the way is very expensive. So when we have local economies, we are going to widen the tax base so that a corporate tax shouldn't be 30%. We can lower it because we have more in the tax net. Another thing is to ensure that we give conducive environment for business. As it is, businesses are not comfortable. They are saying that lack of the dollar in the country is impeding their purchasing power in the global supply chain. So when we give a conducive environment, the economies are going to be there, Kenyans are going to be employed, and then we are going to have money. Then the other youth who don't want to be employed in these industries can go into the other thing of investment that I said. We are going to empower the youth financially.
Kidogo hapo, hata kabla usonge sana, kwa sababu umesema kwamba hamtaahidi wa Kenya kwamba katika muda wa siku 100 mtafanya hivi na kadhalika. Awali ulituambia bangi inachukua muda wa miezi 4 kukua. Na umetuambia kwamba hamtaahidi kwamba mtatimiza baada ya miezi ama mwaka siku 100. Kwa hivyo yule Mkenya anakutazama sasa hivi hawezi kumudu gharama ya kununua pakiti moja ya unga. Kwa hivyo unamwambia nini?
Huyo Mkenya nitamwambia that the truth is tumeteseka miaka 30. 1 year tunaweza vumilia, but we are putting in, Kenyans need an honest leader. As it is now, hii maneno ya kusarakasi na siasa is what is getting us here. We are being honest. We are saying, of course, they have put in the unga imeshukishwa bei. But sisi tukiangalia the truth, marijuana also gives flour. We can look at alternatives to the challenges. If maize flour is costly, then marijuana flour can cook ugali, can cook chapati. And then cooking oil, the seed produces cooking oil also. So we tunaangalia kama hii ni expensive, we are going to use this. So the alternatives. So mi naambia Mkenya, hatutawadanganya. Tumedanganywa miaka nenda miaka rudi. We are telling you the truth. Question us after 1 year.
Bi Ruth, unaona Wakenya wavumilie, watumie unga ya marijuana?
Watalala njaa 365 days from the 9th.
But they know the truth.
But they will die. No, let's be frank. Of course, we do not need a list of 10 items. I would almost agree, but we do not need a list of 10 items kufurahisha wa Kenya that we can accomplish all this in 100 days. Tuweke vitu realistic. Mkenya aweza kupata chakula. Yule mama anaangalia watoto peke yake aweze kupata pesa ya kulipa rent, kulipa school fees. But telling Kenyans to wait for 1 year, I think it's a long time.
The truth is,
it's such a long time.
Truth. And you know, someone who's been in government, I know they're laughing at us, but the truth is, government policy is about trade-off. What is working for our country? What is working for our people? So if we come here and say, tutaangusha bei ya mahindi, farmers walitoka Ushago, they came to Nairobi. There is rural to urban migration. They are border riders because farming doesn't have money. It is about us giving the conducive environment for agriculture to thrive. Watu warudi Ushago, they grow the maize, they grow the marijuana, they do the Mira Act. And actually, we are giving Kenyans an alternative. Mm-hmm. If you're a Mira farmer, continue doing, no problem. But we need Kenyans to know it's not about the government doing things. We won't lie to you. And that is why leaders or politicians lie to us. It's about telling Kenyans the truth. Here is a trade-off between a very bad situation and a worse situation.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe I think agriculture has money. Sijui kama hapo tutakubaliana, lakini farmers agriculture has money. I will give an example. My grandmother amekuwa ametegemea majani chai. They have brought up she brought up 8 children. Lakini sai mkulima wa sai analia. So if we restore back our economy, that means hata ule mtu hajasoma ataweza kuongeza pesa kwa mfuko, na tuweze pia kukata hii importation tunaleta ya michele, na kuna project kuna schemes kama za Moya tunaweza patia wakulima nafasi to boost themselves back, na Wakenya waweze kupata chakula ya kukula. Mm-hmm. Just like even the maize, people are having maize in the granary. Kwa nini tunaleta mahindi kutoka nje? Mm-hmm. Tupatie nafasi wa Kenya wajijenge. I believe farming has money. Yes. Pia ule akona ng'ombe ananunuliwa maziwa 30 shillings lakini inauzwa 60. Half a liter. Wacha tujaribu kubalance out.
Sikusema agriculture doesn't have money.
You said
but
it.
Wait, as it is, the global prices, declining global prices. Sai watu wakisi wanasema 1 kg of coffee or tea wananunuliwa 30 shillings farm gate prices. Sugar cane inatoka 4,112 per ton. Say mahindi 3,000. Na say ekelea fertilizer. So the input cost of agriculture as it is so costly that you as a farmer, you're not getting money. Na niongea about maziwa, ata dairy farmer. By the way, hemp produces animal feed. So our tukitengeneza animal feed, which is very costly as it is, ina impede maziwa production. Kutakuwa na so much milk that Roots Party is telling Kenyans, and we are promising Kenyans, kutakuwa na maziwa ya Roots na mayai ya Roots. Because animal feed will be affordable. Kenyans can take milk as they wish. So our purpose is to reduce import costs in agriculture. Mm-hmm. But agriculture has money.
No, that one I quoted you, Justina. And I think the pricing right now of the food products is because of a leadership issue. It's nothing that the Kenyans cannot produce. Tuko na mchanga, tuko na maadili. We only need to give Kenyans ile nafasi waweze kulisha Wakenya wenzao. Mm-hmm. Just that. Let's stop saying ati mahindi it's intoxins, whereas the strategy is kuleta mahindi binafsi, unaleta hapa kwa nchi, unajitengeneza wewe mwenyewe, lakini unafinya yule mkulima ako pale Murang'a, ako pale Kisumu, hawezi pata return on investment. Kwa hivyo let us try to promote what we have locally, because this is a blessed nation.
Justina, in 60 seconds, listening to you, then it sounds like it begins and ends with marijuana farming.
That is part of our manifesto, and agriculture is the core principle in our manifesto. Let me say this snake farming. As it is, 3 Kenyans die out of snake bites as it is. And we have a law called Wildlife Conservation Act 2013. And this gives us the option of having this snake farming as an income-generating activity. So even if you go to KWS right now, the law is there. Ours was just to amplify that voice and give options. Like I was saying, 3 people are dying every day because of snake bites. And why? The antivenom we import in this country is from South Africa and India mainly. But there are over 3,000 species of snakes in the world. So maybe the snake that will bite you didn't have that antivenom. And if it's antivenom, one vial goes for 13,500. And you need between 5 to 10 vials ndio upone hiyo kumwa na nyoka. So ideally utakuwa na 135,000 ya kupona hiyo snake bite. What is our agenda? Our agenda is to look at what we have. We have snakes around. 1, we'll have the venom industry. This is where unasikianga mtu kushagua amesoma biochemistry, but you don't know where they're going to work. We are going to bring them into this pharmaceutical industry where they are getting the antivenom so that we can compete in the international market.
Right.
And then protect the 3 Kenyan lives who die because of snake bites.
Ruth, in 1 minute, story ya nyoka.
Story ya nyoka ninasema for our government Agano party, we cannot deal with snakes surely. Tutafunga kwa compound ama ni kuku tutaweka
surely.
Ndio tupate mayai. Then again, how much do we have to wait for this venom itoshe ndio Wakenya waweze kupata medication, whereas we are going to start probably, if at all they get the chance to lead from 10th, tutaanza kurea from 10th ama tuko na za kutosha Kenya. What business do we have putting in snakes here?
We have amplified what is there. There is a law, Wildlife Conservation Act 2013. Today is 2022, so it's been there for a while. And it gives this leeway for wildlife snake farming as an income-generating activity. Let me tell you, our idea is making Kenya an export hub, putting money in the pockets of Kenyans. Ndio tunapata ile foreign exchange tulikuwa tunaambiwa tukiwa shule, ati Kenya is earning foreign exchange from wherever. So yetu ni ya kwamba, let's get other alternatives, income-generating activities for Kenyans and to sustain our export manifesto.
So how much venom do we need probably?
Like I say, do the math. 1 vial goes for
Mimi
13,000. You can check, you can Google. 1
No,
vial
that
goes
one I
for
will not do.
13,500. If we do it locally, we are going to lower the cost. And remember, even your government, if you win, is going to incur the cost of importing antivenom. So why not have our own here so that we can lower the cost and save the lives of Kenyans as we create an industry for this venom thing. There's someone at home amesoma biochem. Me unaonanga ama pharmacist sijui nani. They only sell in chemists. There is no employment. Our target ni kuemploy everyone. Mwenye amesoma asiregret. Mwenye hajasoma kuko na hizi zingine economies anaweza invest in. So yetu ni kuweka pesa mkononi.
Na Justina, ni baki kwako kabla kurudi kwake, na una muda wa dakika 2 kuweza kujibu hili. Kwa yule mtazamaji au mkulima ambaye anakutazama sasa hivi, imekuwa vigumu kwake kulima mahindi yake au kahawa yake, majani chai na kusafirisha nje. Itakuwa vipi kwake ukianza kumwambia sasa tufuge nyoka tusafirishe sumu? Kama hawezi kusafirisha mahindi, ataweza vipi kuuza katika soko la kimataifa sumu ya nyoka, fisi?
Haya, niseme hivi. Bangi, nyoka already kuna frameworks na ziliwekwa 2013, tutafuata hizo. But bangi, ile challenge mkulima sasa yako nayo, tukaangalia kama ni farmer, kuna watu wanaitwa KTDA au coffee board au wote. They come here, they take your produce, they go sell it and then come back to pay you. Many times wanakuja wanakuambia, you even you owe us. Unaona? And that is why farmers wanakasirika wanasema, hii ni ya nini? Our idea of marijuana, because this is fresh, snakes is in the law. Idea of marijuana is we are going to cut down these brokers, these KTDAs atuataki. Hii tunasema buyer representative anakuja kwa gate yako. If you've sold 50 kgs, we are going to ensure ananunua according to the price, market price. You're given your money cash as opposed to venye KTDA inapatianga farmers annually. This farmer needs to educate their children, anataka kusustain maisha yake. That is why farming is no longer lucrative. So we are going to cut off the brokers au watu wote wako katikati na buyer representative. Kama ananunua, anakuja kwa farm gate, anachukua produce, anakupatia cash, unajipanga na pesa yako.
Na hao nyoka wataiko wapi? Ni kwamba mtajenga vibanda. Unajua sasa hivi ukienda kule mashambani, kila mtu ana mahali ambapo anaweka kondoo, ng'ombe. Kwa hivyo sasa utajenga pia panyoka, fisi na vitu vingine.
Na hii agenda yetu inaleta msisimuko. But I'm happy because Kenyans are opening up their mindset. Maneno ya nyoka. There is the Wildlife Conservation Act 2013 that stipulates the process and the procedures and the systems. KWS itakuja kwako. You give you show interest, yeah? Expression of interest. Before they give you a license, wanakuja kwako na wana inspect. So hiyo sitaongelea sana because already the law was passed by parliament. But this is the idea. Unaenda express interest, unaambiwa before upewe a license, they have to inspect your premises. Can you afford? So we are going to use KWS, and Kenya is not devoid of experts. Wako watatusaidia on how best we can cash in on this. Na nimesema it is being done because we import venom from South Africa and India. They are doing it. Why not us?
Ruth, utafuga nyoka?
I think for Agano Party, our governance, we leave the snakes to the zoo. Tunakuja kuziona, tunaziangalia, tunasoma. That's good for us.
Pesa nayo.
Justina,
Yes.
I'm looking at this from a practical point of view.
Yes.
If you want to introduce, let's say, tea farming or maize farming, you give farmers seeds, fertilizer, and everything else. So what will you give to somebody who wants to engage in snake rearing?
What will we give?
Yeah.
Like I said, Gashori, the law was passed in 2013. KWS, we are not doing it at Justina or Professor Wajakoya. No, there are regulations in place. Hao ndio wataenda na KWS will advise them as it is, mali watatoa hiyo nyoka. Because there's already a research process in place. Wako hapa Ngong Road. Ni a government, it's government owned, na ina support KWS in this process. So what we are saying, hatutapeana nyoka. Justina Wamae or Wajakoya won't go and give snakes. No, we will work with the experts. And Kenya haikosi our experts. We'll work with KWS. But the fact is, we have amplified the voice that this is an alternative income generating activity.
Una la kuongeza kabla tu?
Naona KWS wako na kazi mingi ahead of their government, ya afisi na ya nyoka. For us, we are safe again. We leave them in the zoo.
They were expecting, the law is there, the Wildlife Conservation Act 2013.
Those were just my remarks.
Yeah.
Naam, tuingie katika mada yetu